Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch Hiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Today we are going to do some more small town stuff. I'm just outside of the town of Blackville, South Carolina, in a little place called God's Acre Healing Springs. I've been here several times in the past. I've actually did a video here before, and it's good to be back. It's been a few years. We're actually going to get us some water today and take it back home to the family. Let them try some healing springs. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so when you come here to God's Acre, I always come over here and look at this headstone right here. And it said, God's Acre Healing Springs, deeded to the Almighty God to be used by the sick and the afflicted, by L.P. Lute Boylston, July 21st, 1944. The most precious piece of earth I have ever owned, he said. So let's walk down here and check out the spring. As you can see, there is quite a group of people. They all just bring their vehicles down here and back in, and they load up the back of their vehicles, trucks and cars alike, with this healing water. And right here is a board with a little information about God's Acre Healing Springs. It says, according to tradition, the Indians reverenced the water for its healing properties as a gift from the Great Spirit. They led the British wounded to their secret waters during the American Revolution, and the wounded were healed here. The historical property has been deeded to God for the public use. Please revere God by keeping it clean. So we're going to make our way down there now and go check it out. As you can see, my wife right there, she's already got us some water. Got a few bottles filled up. And boy, these people do not play around. As you can see, they have a couple springs here in the area. I'm sorry. They got one here on the left. They got another one right here. And then there's another one right back there where that woman has got all her jugs. And she is filling up a lot of water. Look at that. Wow. This is pretty awesome. I like that right there. It's been up here for years. I like this right here. Open your hearts, behold, and I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me. Revelation 3:20. So a little bit of backstory about this spring right here. As people come here, it's not just drinking the water or consuming the water. Back in the day, people would come down here and actually lay down in this little branch where the water runs into. And they would just kind of bathe in it. And that would also have healing properties. So it's just not consumption. It's also, you could come here and lay down and kind of bathe in it a little bit. And that would help your weary body also. So you just come down here and put your water bottle right there. Fill it up like so. And then the taste test. Whew, that is nice. Really cold too. That is really, really good stuff. So that is going to pretty much wrap it up here at God's Acre Healing Springs. Definitely, if you're ever just south of Columbia, South Carolina, it's definitely worth coming over here and checking this place out. The water is amazing. It is really, really good and tasty. Okay, we have departed from the Healing Springs, and I wanted to show you the hidden mailbox here. It's decorated to look like a tree. I'm just kidding. This is this old mailbox right here that's kind of hidden by this, I guess this is a magnolia tree maybe. Actually, it belongs to this abandoned building right here, which used to be a liquor store. And the only reason I know that is because it has the three circles, the three red circles. Right there's 1, 2, and right over here's the third one. And I learned that a few years ago in Charleston, South Carolina. If you see the three red dots on the front of a building, that means it's a liquor store. But yeah, this liquor store has definitely had some issues over the years, especially if you can come around to the back side of it. It's very much caved in. I don't know if they had a little bit of a fire here or what happened, but the roof is definitely buckled. Big time right up there. Big time. Okay, and welcome to Blackville. South Carolina. Look at this awesome building right here. You would never guess what this structure used to be. This is the old train depot. As a matter of fact, this sign right over here says just that. This is the old depot, which is now the Blackville Public Library. That is pretty awesome. They repurposed a depot into a library. That is so cool. So let's talk about a little history about this town. So the town of Blackville was incorporated in 1837. The town is named after Alexander Black, a railroad superintendent here in the area. For a brief time, this town was named Clinton, after the Revolutionary War general James Clinton. So after the Revolutionary War, the name would have been Clinton for quite a few years, all the way up until 1851. That is when the local folks here decide to change the name back to Blackville, because the locals actually preferred honoring Alexander Black. Okay, so right here is the Blackville United States Post Office, zip code 29817. And much like quite a few small southern towns, they removed the railroad track and actually turned it into a walking path now, which is a really nice touch here in town. This town is pretty awesome. Really looks cool here. And so glad that we stopped at the depot right away. When I seen the depot, I was like, oh, that place is cool. I didn't realize it was actually a depot. But even right up here on their banner, the town banner where it says, welcome to the historic town of Blackville, established 1837, you can see they do have a picture of the train depot up there. That is pretty cool. I know the railroad was a big part of the growth of this town. It was a big hub to transport and ship farm goods here in the area. At one point, truck farming, especially watermelons and cucumbers, cantaloupes, and asparagus, was a big thing here in Blackville and the surrounding areas. And a cool thing that I just found out momentarily ago, the remnants of the depot building that we've seen, early 1900s, was moved in 1985 to actually serve as the public library. So I thought that was kind of some pretty good information. It's really nice. We have a American flag posted up right here in the middle of the walkway. We're going to get into some of the specifics about the town now. Population is about 2,037 souls that live here. And the median age is 37.6, which is pretty good number, pretty young group of folks. And right here is the Blackville Fire and Rescue office right here in the downtown area. And my gosh, I love this mural they got on the side of this building right here. This is so cool. Really, really nice. I love it. It says, welcome to Blackville, live, work, and explore. That is my motto for my life right there. That is exactly how I live. You can see they have the depot over there on the right, and then on the left right there is the Healing Springs. That is so cool. I made my way over here to this epic looking clock right here in the middle of town. Talk to you now about the median household income. It's kind of low. So income per capita here in the town of Blackville is about $17,622, which the national average is $29,829 at the moment. Median household income, $21,038. National average is $55,322. And then that takes us to another thing that kind of blew my mind a little bit, actually. And that is the unemployment rate here is 4.9%, but the poverty rate is very high, 40.4%. That's a pretty high poverty rate. So let's take a moment to talk about crime a little bit here in the area. Total crime is about 1.4%, which is below the national average of 2.2. Not too bad. Violent crime is 0.2%, which once again is below the national average of 0.3. And then we got property crime is at 1.2%. So that's not too bad. Those numbers ain't too bad at all. But this right here is a really awesome looking building. And I love whoever owns it. It's a pizza shop. It's very brash. They just put Russell's. Just printed Russell's right there on the front of the building. See some old ghost sign going on either side. Wonder what this used to be. According to the interwebs, this building right here, the pizza shop, which is called Russell's now, this building was formerly the showroom for the Dodge Motor Company, or a local Dodge dealer, it says, under the ownership of one Stanley Brown during the mid-20th century. The building had large garage-type doors on the showroom sides to display cars, which now they just display pizzas, which I think this is very plausible looking at this building, because they say the owner was Stanley Brown, and if you look right here on the left-hand side of the sign where the R is for Russell, that indeed says Brown. And then right on this side you can see company, so maybe it was just called, like, it's spelled out like Brown Dodge Company or Motor Company or Brown Dodge Company, something like that. The Russell kind of looks like that name kind of covered up what it used to say, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good bet. I think the interwebs has definitely steered us in the right direction today. Okay, all that being said, I think that is pretty much going to be it for the downtown area here in Blackville. Really cool place. So now we're going to motor on to another small town, not too far away. All right, as I was leaving the town of Blackville, I come across the ruins of this old Tabernacle Baptist Church, organized in 1894, building circa 1900. But oh my God, look at this place. I mean, I very rarely have ever seen a church look like this. And, you know, I just thought I would just come by here and kind of document it. Don't know what happened here, but this place was epic at one time. And it now is just ruins. Don't know if they had a fire here or something burned down. If you have any backstory to the old Tabernacle Baptist Church here in Blackville, definitely fill in the comment section down below. Love to hear from you. Kind of know what the heck happened here. I'm gonna kind of walk down the side here and see if I can take a peek inside, see if we see any kind of soot or like burned things, but I don't think that's going to work out too well. The ceiling just caved in on this place. That is pretty wild, to say the least. That is crazy. Side door right here is actually open. That's nuts. That old organ right here. And now we're actually venturing in to the innards of the church. How wild is this? I mean, the whole ceiling just fell down. And there's actually a tree growing, or a couple trees right here on the inside of the church itself. And I think there's even another piano back over here. Yeah, right here's another piano and another organ. That is crazy. Very, very creepy also, just to say. All right, let's walk back outside. You can even see a little bit of what's left over, some stained glass right there. Little diamond-shaped windows. How sad is that? I bet this was an awesome church at one time. Okay, just wanted to document this. So let's carry on. Okay, welcome to the small town of Denmark, South Carolina. As a matter of fact, this structure we're looking at right here across the street was formerly the town hall here in town, and the town of Denmark was actually incorporated in 1837. And check out this lonely little palm tree right here. These old kind of abandoned buildings here in the town of Denmark. Very interesting town name. Never even heard of Denmark, South Carolina until I arrived here today. And this is a wild little town already. Check out this mural right here. Bull Durham, the old reliable, smoke genuine. So Denmark was named after Captain Isidore Denmark, who was a railroad official when the town was incorporated. So the town developed around the railroad junction that connected Charleston and Augusta, which helped grow the town and make it like a small trading hub. That's how it kind of sprung forward. And as you can see, this is a pretty desolate little town. Not a whole lot going on here. But one thing they do have, it is awesome. Look at this theater right here. Oh my goodness. This thing is awesome. This structure began life as the Dane Theater. It was built around 1947 in the Art Deco style. During its heyday, especially in the 1950s, the Dane Theater boasted around 700 people. It could seat about 700 folks, making it the largest movie theater in the Denmark area at that time. By September of 1996, the Dane Theater building reopened as the Dane Culture Center, making its new role as an arts and community gathering space, which that's what it still says right up there on the marquee itself today. The signage right there. This is pretty cool. I love finding these old theaters when I'm out and about, that's for sure. Right over here we have our old ticket window. And take a little peek inside, see what's going on. Don't look like a theater no more at all. You can definitely tell they renovated it and turned that into a art center. So let's talk a little bit about population. So there's 3,231 people that live here in the area of Denmark. The median age for this town is super young, 23.6. And the reason that is because there's a college here. And I'm talking about Voorhees University. This is where Jason, before he went to Camp Crystal Lake, this is where he used to go to college. Just kidding, just a joke. Jason was a kid when he drowned in that lake. But Denmark is proudly home to Voorhees University, a historically black college founded in 1897 by Elizabeth Wright, a student of Booker T. Washington. So with a college being here in the area, a university that is why the median age is so young here, is because all these kids are kind of skewing the numbers a little bit, but they're probably going to skew some more numbers when we get into, you know, how much people make, the median household income and things like that. So we'll just take that with a grain of salt. But crime is something that we definitely have to look at while we're here. As I'm noticing this right here, it looks like they actually have a church right here in this little brick building here on the end, or maybe once they did. It might be abandoned also. There's not a whole lot going on here in town. You can see across the street where there was a building torn down recently on that street corner. But let's talk about crime here in Denmark. It's way above the national average. National average at 2.2%. Here in Denmark, it's at 4.1%. Violent crimes are 1% of that 4%, which is very interesting. Property crime is 3.1% here in town. And that is the majority of the crime, so of your total. So yeah. So now we're going to get into income. And this is where the college kids are probably going to throw these numbers way off. So the average income per capita is $12,210. The national average is $29,829. And the average of South Carolina is $25,521 at the moment. And then median household incomes at $31,818, which the national average is $55,322. Okay, I think that will pretty much wrap it up here in the town of Denmark, South Carolina. Really cool day. Got to see some neat stuff. And that Dane Theater right there was awesome. So let's go hit the road and see what else we can see today before we wrap our vlog up. Okay, and welcome to our last stop today. I've been meaning to come by this area for quite a while. This has been on my radar for the last year, but I just never quite make it into this vicinity. And today I made it happen. This here is a coffee shop. As you can see, look at that big old 250-pound coffee pot that sits right there on the top of this structure. Right there where you walk in. This is an awesome roadside attraction. I'm a big fan of coffee. If you guys have been watching the channel, you know I always drink some coffee in the video, especially my morning coffee walk and talks when we're at the beach back home. And check it out in there, how it's decorated. You have these dolls sitting around, kind of creepy dolls, especially the woman right there, the girl. Her eyes are like white, like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat or something. But they're in there, they're sitting at a dinner table. No coffee in hand though, but they do have a coffee pot right there in the middle of the table. Kind of cool. But I've always wanted to come by here and check this place out. And it says coffee shop, open till we close. All right, my friends, that will pretty much do it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me once again. Hope you enjoyed the towns I showed you today, the God's Acre Healing Springs, and of course, boom, 250-pound coffee pot. I've been wanting to come by here for quite some time. It's just one of those things I like to do. Until next time, my friends, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. Say so long to the coffee shop here in South Carolina, not too far from Orangeburg. Yeah, it's a good one. This is awesome.